This week on the Digital Coffee, there's a new Facebook metric in town. Twitter might be reinstating applications for verification, and a court ruling says you may not be able to embed other people's Instagram posts on your website anymore. All that and more after this. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. Facebook are now going to make it easier for you to access your business page messages through Messenger. Now, I never miss messages on Facebook, unless, of course, I'm having a day away from my phone. I see all the messages that people send me personally on Facebook because I use Messenger. And even though I have notifications, all sorts of notifications to tell me when people message my business page, I have to click and click and click to get at them. And the Pages Manager app is incredibly slow and it hurts my head. So very often I'm slower to respond to messages to my business page, or I forget about them because it's such a big task to click all those times that I just forget to go and do it. Well, now Facebook is going to make it really simple for me to access those messages in Messenger. It's just going to be one click to toggle between my personal account and my business account. This is what it's going to look like. So it's almost like switching your account on Instagram. You'll be able to just click at the bottom and choose the account that you want to look at and respond to messages straight away, which I think is brilliant. I'm definitely going to be able to respond to messages quicker. I'm not going to forget so much about business messages I get, but there is a downside. And I think the downside is it's going to make you always on. You're not going to get time out. You're not going to get time off because those messages are so easy to access. And you'll just end up in a spiral of work. You know the way. And particularly for social media managers who work for someone else, people you don't want to, in your time out, be bombarded with messages. There are things you can do to fix that, though. You can set an away message. You can tell Facebook you're away, and you can even set up a message to say that you'll get back to people within a period of time. You can actually schedule the time that you're away as well. So you can set that away message to automatically go out when you are closed. So although I think this is a good update, I think you're going to need to go and update your Messenger settings to stop yourself having to answer questions at 12 o'clock on a Friday night. Is Twitter verification coming back? I think verification is important. We see so many posts on social, don't we, from businesses trying to sell us stuff. I'm going to say particularly Instagram, but it's also there on Twitter. It's also there on Facebook. And we want the stuff, but we don't really know. Is this a legitimate business? Do we trust this business? And one thing verification can do, if you go through a strict application process, is it can say, yes, this is a legitimate business, and it adds that little bit of trust. This is somebody that you can feel comfortable doing business with. And Twitter used to have an application process. You used to be able to apply to be verified. Just don't ask. They said no to me. Don't ask. Before I could apply again, it was gone. And now they kind of just give out badges when they feel like it. They kind of go, well, this person, I'm going to award them a badge, which is lovely. It makes it a little bit more exclusive. But I think the job verification really needs to do is to verify legitimate businesses. So this is why this is exciting news. We should hopefully, it's spotted by Jane Manchun Wong, who, if you watch the show regularly, you will know she is a reverse engineer. So she looks for things in code that could actually be happening. And it looks like we will be able to apply again for Twitter verification, which is excellent news. A court in the US has just ruled against Newsweek for embedding a photograph, an Instagram post, into one of their articles. Now, the story is that the photographer took this case because Newsweek approached him wanting to buy the license to the image. He said no. So instead of that, cheekily, they just embedded his Instagram posts. So he took them to court saying they were infringing his copyright. There have been rulings in the past, one against Mashable, where they found for Mashable that they said, no, look, this is something that Instagram allows. When you put your photo on Instagram, the license that you grant them means that you can embed content on websites. But this time the court said, no, that's not the case. And in fact, even Instagram said, no, that's not the case. They said, look, you have to get the permission of the creator before you embed an Instagram post on your website. This changes everything because so many content creators, in fact, so many people would use Instagram post embeds in their content. We'd use it to maybe give shout outs to other businesses. We'd use it to add context. I'm a trainer, so I would tend to embed examples in blog posts to show people that are doing things well or people that might not be doing things well. Now we will have to seek permission, written permission. You want to make sure that is airtight before you embed posts. So obviously this is a bit of a downer. It's a bit of a downer, but it's something that we're going to need to think about a little bit more. We're going to have to think about, and if you don't comply, you have to be aware that this ruling has set a precedent now. So it will have to go to court if you want to challenge it. I also think this brought up to me because I see a lot of people using apps like Regram to share Instagram posts over and over again. There is no inbuilt sharing mechanism within the feed. You can share Instagram posts into stories, but you can't share them in the feed without using a third-party app. It's not part of the mechanics of Instagram. So when you do that, you are in breach of copyright unless you get written permission of the person's post that you are regramming. So I know it's a pain, I know it's legal, but just be really aware, particularly as a business, you are really open to be sued for this stuff. Have you ever retweeted a link to an article and you haven't read the article? Guilty as charged. I have done it. I'm sorry. I've done it. I know it's not great. And if you've ever wondered why sometimes an article that you post will get more retweets than link clicks, that's the reason. People see the headline, they see the image, and they think, yeah, that's relatable, or they see it's from a specific person and they think, yeah, that's good, and they retweet it. And of course, we know when we click that button, this is risky because we are making a judgment on all the content that is at the other end of that link just by the image and the headline. What's inside that link could be totally against our brand values. We could be sharing something controversial or wrong. It's a worry, and it's a worry most of us just ignore. We just click that retweet button. But Twitter has decided it's important, and I guess because they don't want to see kind of fake news stuff being distributed. So now you will need to click. It will prompt you when you haven't clicked a link. It will prompt you when you go to retweet it to say, hello, you haven't read this. You sure you want to retweet it? Do you want to read it before you retweet? Yeah, go on, have a quick look. That's what it's going to be doing. This is rolled out for Android users now. So if you're an Android user, you could test this. You could try this. You could go to my Twitter profile and find a link from my blog that I've shared and try and retweet it without reading it and see if you get that prompt. If you do, I'd love to see a screenshot. So do screenshot it for me. I'd love to see that. I think this is a good update because I do this occasionally, not a lot. I do read most of the content that I share. I do this, and really, it is just telling me, slow down, think about what you're sharing, make sure that it's on brand for you, make sure that what you're sharing is legitimate and you're happy that you're sharing it. So I think this is good. Facebook is testing a new metric. It's a really interesting one called conversation engagement. And what's really interesting about this is it's not just for pages, it's for people. It was spotted by Matt Navarra, who is on Twitter sharing news updates every single day. Engagement strategy, I would say, is a really important part of any digital marketing strategy. You can be throwing content out there left, right, and center. And unless you're talking and engaging with people, you're probably not going to build the trust that you need in order to turn people into customers. And of course, also engagement gets you more reach, and it gets more engagements, and it gets you more traction on your content. So this is an interesting one. It looks like Facebook are going to show you the impact that you commenting on either your post pages, your page posts, that's the right way around, or on other content has on a piece of content. So it's going to show you here, this is Matt commenting on a page post, and it's saying that because he commented, there was 101% plus change in the number of reactions, and there was a 14% change in the number of impressions. Now, why would Facebook suddenly want to show us this? We always have to think what's in it for Facebook when they give us these tools. Well, firstly, they want more people to be engaging publicly. I think, they've seen a big hit. People are more comfortable these days. It's the trend that we're just doing a lot more in direct messaging. We're doing a lot more in private groups. Whereas if you comment publicly, that's giving them more stuff to put in the feed, which they can intersperse with ads. Whenever Facebook makes something look enticing to us, so when we see, oh, if I comment on that post, my post gets seen by more people, what do we as marketers do? We post more comments. And of course you should. Good comments, not the Instagram style comments. Of course you should. And this should get you that extra reach and engagement that we all crave. So it's good for Facebook. It's good for us. I'm not seeing this yet, so it's obviously a limited test, but I do look forward to seeing more and hopefully seeing more engagement and comments as a result. Do you remember when LinkedIn used to be a really boring place full of boring, mundane comments from people telling you what they were doing in their business today? We've just launched this thing. This is the project I'm working on. This is the award we've just won. Now, there is still a bit of that going, but the feed has become far more vibrant. We've got video content, we've got articles, we've got PDFs, we've got people having conversations. It has become a vibrant space. So what happens to those business updates that are, even though I've kind of not made them look appealing now, they are kind of important that we tell people what our business is about, that we have updates on what our business is about. Well, these updates will now be called status updates, and you'll be able to put them on your LinkedIn profile. So when people visit your profile, there'll be a small section that you fill in. It's just text-based by the looks of it, where you'll be able to say maybe what you're doing now, the projects you're working with, the types of customers you're working with, and it will give people a broader picture of what your business is. And it's hard. It's not like Facebook. You can see all the updates of what you're talking about on LinkedIn when you visit a profile. That's not there anymore. You have to go and root around to find that information. So this will be a shortcut that people can see exactly what you're doing now. So Jane Manchun Wong, again, discovered this. This is her screen grab. So hopefully it is going to be rolled out because I can see the benefit of this. But my question to you is, what would you use it for? Yeah, I've talked about projects. I've talked about the types of customers you're working with. What else would you use this really basic status update for? There's been a new study done on Facebook video and what works engagement-wise on Facebook video done this week, or it's been done by Social Insider. And this is a massive study, millions of Facebook videos they analysed. And the first thing is, what percentage of content on Facebook is video? And the answer is, dang, 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 it is 15%. 15% of all the content that you see on Facebook, or all the content that is created on Facebook, is video. And that's up. In 2014, it was 5.47%. So it's a significant increase, and I'm sure it's increasing all the time. Other interesting statistics there is that, and these are all kind of minor things. So you'll get a tiny little uplift in engagement, a small uplift in engagement on vertical video. Vertical video gets a tiny little bit more engagement than video of other formats. And this is really interesting because I see studies batted around left, right, and center about which is best, vertical or horizontal or square. And I tend to always sit on square for Facebook, but you will get a tiny increase in engagement if you go vertical. And I think this is because vertical consumes more of the screen. So you're more consumed by what you see, which is interesting. The second thing that will get you a tiny increase in engagement is video posts that have a description of over 300 characters. So I suppose when you're constructing your video post, you want to think about teasing people into watching your video. So think about what you're putting in there. Tell people a little bit about what they're going to learn, maybe a little hint or one tip that they're going to learn from your video, and tell them that they need to watch to see the rest. That will entice people in to actually watch your video. So 300 characters or more is outperforming shorter descriptions on videos. And the last thing is that the optimum length of a video as an uploaded video is 3 to 5 minutes. So it needs to be a little bit chunkier. It's not necessarily those quick ones that we make on Quick or Wave, although there is a place for those, but the ones that get the most engagement tend to be 3 to 5 minutes long. On Facebook Live, and don't worry, I'm not going to start doing an hour-long show, but it's an hour. It's an hour. So Facebook Live shows that an hour or longer get more engagement. And that is the stats.